What's what, Uncle Sonny?
What's what, my brother Frank? How are you today?
I'm doing good. Can't
Good.
complain. The guys who did the work, the guys who killed Johnny,
We're actually friends of his.
grew up with him.
Yeah.
And he always told me they were jealous of him because he became made and they didn't.
Yeah, but he earned that spot.
Right. These guys are sitting now doing life. Where'd it get you? Friends killing friends, betraying friends.
Made guys turning on made guys.
For a life full of treachery. That's what I mean. They want to talk about loyalty. You betrayed your friends. Yeah. They're all your friends till they tell you to kill one of them.
Right. Kill that guy.
You're
The
sitting
guy
today,
your whole
you're sitting
life.
today at a table.
Yeah.
You're all friends. Tomorrow, they're telling one guy to kill the other guy.
Yeah.
What happened What happened to the...
Yeah.
That's not betrayal?
Everything's thrown out the window at that point.
Yeah.
That's total betrayal.
Right.
And it's by choice.
So when Johnny gets killed, it hits the newspaper. You know, it's all over the papers. And until today, they do stories about this. And guys don't have all the details. They don't have all the inside stuff.
You can tell when you read certain things.
Yeah. And there's stuff I'll think about. Like, let's say we leave this table.
Yeah.
I'll go home. I'll think about what we talked about and stuff. And I'll go, oh, well, I should have added this. I should have said this. I should have said that. Because now you start rehashing. You start thinking.
Right. Well, as you say, you knock the rust off and things start flowing at that point.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll definitely go over it. And then later on, as the podcast goes on and we get people who want to hone in, because what I'm realizing is people, they'll help you with questions they have. And now you'll start thinking of different angles and go, oh, yeah, I thought about this. I thought about, that's where the details come in and all that stuff. And it just the story gets more.
It continues. I mean, stuff like this, you're not going to get it all out in one session of doing something like this, no matter what. There's going to be more to this story. Oh, during this time, this happened. And then it strikes up more memory as you talk about it.
You see, the stories I like to talk about are the stories that I was intimately involved with.
Right.
So I could give...
Things you know firsthand is what you're talking about.
And the people that I know firsthand. Like Johnny Petrocelli, we were super close for months and months, right up until he got killed. There he is. He didn't look like that on the street. That's a younger picture of him.
That's super young, yeah.
It's kind of hard to find photos of him, actually. There's not a lot of photos I can find of him.
No.
Probably not.
There's Rafi Como.
Not many photos of him either.
Rafi.
I found 2.
I tell you what, Rafi, he's just how can I say this?
Hey, I tell you what.
He made the best I tell you what, there's no denying that. My man always told me, flour and water makes dough.
Yeah. Ain't that the truth?
And he made a good pie, I mean, whatever his legacy, he wants his legacy to be. He took pride in his food. He took pride in the pizza. He was always...
He left a legacy behind, man.
And that was the first Rays in New York, was it not?
Yes, yeah.
I don't think he's involved with it anymore. I think he sold the building. He sold the whole thing.
Well, I think the family sold the building after he passed.
His niece,
Johnny
Brody's wife, that junkie I talk about. His
wife, was it? Or his
Rafi had no kids. He had no kids. He had his nephew, was like his son.
So, yeah, had to be.
His sister, who he was super close with. That's one thing about Rafi. Rafi took care of his family. But he didn't have a family. He had a girl. He had a girlfriend for years. He was never married. He had no kids. So I would guess, I'm just guessing, his nephew wound up with a lot. And his sister's daughter, which is Johnny Brody's wife, she probably wound up with the control of whatever's left, Yeah, if it wasn't for Charlie Brody, when he was younger, a lot of the buildings on Mulberry Street, Mott Street, Little Italy, you could have bought them like back in the day. I mean, back in the day was a lot of money, but if you would have bought those, the buildings were going for like, I heard, from like 80 grand to like 300,000. Okay. Those buildings that you could have bought for 80 to 300,000 today are 15, 20, 30 million.
It sold, of what I read, I believe it was 2011, sold for 5.9. That building.
Today it's got to be 15 million.
Yeah, it's triple that.
Yeah.
Everybody remembers these people, as being the organized crime guys. This guy started this pizza war. This was a pizza war in New York City.
It was.
Like, this was not a joke. This was, this Ray's, famous Ray's, the this, the that, the other.
Yeah.
There was a pizza war between these places.
If Rafe was smart, though, he would have took all that junk money that we made and he would have opened up more locations.
100.
Yeah, he didn't know. I don't think they realized that was even possible.
He just stood with his one store.
Yep. He tried
On
a
Prince
second
Street.
location and then sold it right away. He didn't keep it long. At least I read that.
He was supposed to expand.
Yep.
Get 100 of them open.
Yep.
Dominate the whole
Pizza.
New York
Yeah.
pizza
Yeah.
industry.
He was going to dominate it.
And today he'd be sitting on the legacy where they got like a Sabaros
all over
or
the world.
all over
Yep.
the place.
Yeah, it would have been like a Subway
Well,
almost.
and you know what? We would have had better pizza here. I'm
Well,
just
now
saying.
you got, I don't know what nationality, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Anybody can
matter.
make a pizza today. But now you got whoever, under the name Ray's. I know the Ray's that I go to on the east side.
Yeah.
Because they got one on the east side too, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I know that guy's not Italian. I
No.
think he's
Albania.
Albanian. That's right.
Same thing with
Nice
the young
guy.
pizza. Oh, they're great guys.
Makes a great pie.
They make a pie just like we do.
Albanians and Italians are very similar.
Absolutely.
They're right.
Yeah.
They're very close.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I walk in there, that Ray's on the east side.
Yeah.
Phenomenal pizza.
Used to be owned by the same guy.
I go down to the one on 35th Avenue in Union Hills, and it's a family from Brooklyn who started that one.
I can't think of the young man's name, but I met him a couple times because my brother-in-law was affiliated with them for a minute.
So it's almost surreal when I go in there and I order a pizza and I order a big Sicilian pie and I have squares.
Yeah.
Or I'll order 2 squares and a soda because that's what I used to get at Rafie's. I look back and I go, man,
Wow.
like if he would have did this, if he would have did that, if he would have expanded and franchised, that Ray's that we're walking into now would have been paying royalty fees
That's
right now.
right.
Yeah.
To the family.
For real.
To the family.
Yeah.
For
Or
just
to
for the name.
Corporation. He would have
Corporation
opened,
or-
yeah.
It would have took a life of its own.
Yeah. He was approached allegedly, some of the things I read about the Ray's Pizza family, that he was approached several times of people trying to convince him that to expand and do more locations, that they wanted him to kind of franchise, I guess, before franchises were becoming popular.
Well, and wasn't it Lombardi's that bucked that system too, and Grimaldi's did it? Now look at
Grimaldi's came out of Patsy's up in Harlem. That's when that beef started. And then what happened was the family got into beef, and then they opened up Grimaldi's in
Brooklyn, under the Brooklyn Bridge, wasn't it?
Brooklyn Heights.
Brooklyn Heights. It was near the Brooklyn Bridge.
I used to
remember
box. I used to box up in that gym, Gleason's.
That. Yep. Gleason's
new
was there, you're
Gleason's,
right.
the-
Yep.
They opened up a new Gleason's gym. Well, back then it was new. Up in downtown Brooklyn, Brooklyn Heights.
Yeah.
So I remember the first Grimaldi's when it opened. Back
I do
in
too.
So did they have a coal oven when they
Yes.
opened the
Back
first one
in
as well?
19
Yeah.
1990, 91.
It was a very old-fashioned way of cooking pizza. There was several of them that did the coal-fired oven. Yeah, it was a Brooklyn thing, I thought. But
Lombardi's
I'm being-
was in my neighborhood.
yeah,
Lombardi's is on Spring and Mott.
I've never been to Lombardi's. Every time I go to New York, I've never been there. I always go. I should probably go sometime, but I've never been.
Here's the biggest thing with those ovens. The biggest thing with those ovens is that it's seasoned.
Mm.
So you heard of a pan being seasoned.
Yeah.
just like a black frying
So
pan.
if I got an oven that's been seasoning for over 100 years
yeah, these things are 100
versus a
years
brand new
old. Yeah.
oven, that's where it comes in.
That smoky flavor and all hits the pizza because of the coal. There's a lot of factors go into that.
Well, it's the nostalgia, it's the storyline,
Oh, yeah.
it's the whole thing. But
Yeah.
if Rafie would have,
Imagine.
skipped the track,
Skip the track.
skip the ball game, skip the football sheets.
Skip the
Like I said,
babanya. Who knows?
The cockroach races. No, he could have stood in the babanya business, no problem. But if he would have skipped all that stuff and if he would have focused on just being the pizza king, winning the
I was going to
the
say, he
pizza
doesn't
war,
look like a pizza king.
would've
When you
been-
look at him, you're like,
he would have been a multi-gazillionaire.
Oh God, yeah.
truth.
He would have been the pizza king of all times.
I tell you what,
Still is in a lot of ways.
my old friend is,
Mm-hmm.
he was a hoodlum. He was a hoodlum at heart. He couldn't help himself.
Wow.
He couldn't help himself. He was a gangster. I don't know what kind of, he'd get you killed though.
He was that politician you called him several times.
Well, here's why. See, Johnny Petrocelli.
Yeah.
Johnny Petrocelli was capable. He killed a couple people before. He did time before.
Right. Yeah.
Rafe never killed anybody. And if I guarantee you, if Vic would have told Rafe, all right, he told you that, go kill him.
Go take care of it. Yeah.
Petrocelli never would have got killed.
Yeah.
Rafe wouldn't have did it.
If Rafe was in charge of that, you mean?
And Vic knows Rafe wouldn't have did it.
Yeah.
Rafe's not a guy they call to do work.
Yeah.
You're not calling Rafe. You're not calling Rafe 2 o'clock in the morning and say, hey, we got to go whack this guy out.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not. No, he's the
guy you call. Yeah, that's not him.
We talk about the law firm, the rainmaker, the worker bee, and the guy who goes to court. He's the guy who goes to court.
Yeah, he's not
Rafe
the worker
dress
bee.
up. Nah, Rafe.
He has a part in all of this, and that's his
he'll
part.
He'll punch you in the face. He'll fight. He'll fight. He'll punch you in the face. He'll do his time. He'll keep his mouth shut. You know, I don't know what more you want out of a guy.
No, if he's getting the job done that they know he can do, you got the guy that, you know, we used to say that in the business, you got to get the right people in the right seat on the bus, right or wrong. And everybody has a purpose.
I cried like a baby when they killed Johnny Petrocelli. I really cried.
That affected you bad.
I really don't cry.
Yeah.
But man, it really got me.
Mm.
You know?
Why would that affect you more than most others? I know because you felt for the guy, but there's something more to that then.
Because the guy was so, what do you want to say? He was
his heart in the right place? What put you on to that?
Yeah, he was so, Petrocelli was hard on his sleeve.
Okay.
He was so generous to me. Loved my uncle.
How did he get to know your uncle? Do you know? Did they grow up together or?
No, they didn't grow up together. I mean, they met somewhere.
Huh. Interesting.
They actually met through his cousin, Tommy Panini.
Huh.
But no, Johnny was good.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I mean, I don't want to sound cold, but I didn't cry when I heard Rafe passed away.
Different emotions stir up when people pass.
I mean, because my friend Johnny got killed. Wasn't supposed to get killed. Got killed like a dog.
Yeah, and the way they did it and how they did it, all of that adds up.
The guy went and did work, did all his time for the family.
Didn't squeal, didn't say nothing, didn't say a word.
Come home, help somebody. All right, Gus is a jerk off for killing an agent. Okay, we all know that. We know that.
That goes without saying. Yeah.
That's if you tell me like Rafe, all right, may he rest in peace and everything. I know I'm going to get criticism. Well, you told on him. Yeah, I told on him because I had to because they had us on tape. Okay.
Yeah.
But
There's
you know what?
Circumstances behind everything here.
I was very reluctant. And I think that's the reason why he only got 4 years. He was supposed to get 20 years. He got 4. He fixed his diabetes because when you go inside, you know, you're going to exercise more. You're going to do.
Yep. You got to take
you're
care
gonna
of yourself.
Stop all this the shit. Johnny didn't get that chance.
No.
You know, he went and he got himself from helping people. Think about it. What did he do wrong?
He didn't do anything wrong in a lot of people's eyes.
In
his eyes,
he
wasn't doing anything wrong.
In the world of the mafia, I mean,
what did he do wrong? Let's go back to the
what
rules.
you're saying. Yeah, go back to the rules again.
Show me the rule in what book. Show me the rule in what book that he should have got killed. The only thing they could have said was, okay, he defied a direct order.
Correct. That's what they're going to say. But he also didn't want to kill a friend of his.
That's how they twist it.
He didn't want to kill his friend. That's what it came down to. So, like, you know, what if they gave him orders and said, hey.
I think if there was a different boss in place, not as hardcore as Vic and Gas, Johnny they wouldn't have killed him.
They would have given him a pass, you think?
Yeah, because they would have said, okay, you don't have the kid no more. He went back to the Bananas. Let them do it.
Right.
That's what I would have done.
And then it would have been on the Bananas to take care of it.
Yeah, would have been on the bananas.
Yeah,
Let them
would've been
handle
on
it
the
now.
bananas, and then Petrocelli's basically off the hook.
Knowing Johnny, because Johnny was a tough guy, he had a lot of resentment towards Vic from killing those two guys on the boat, the father and son, which he never agreed with. Okay, there was a lot of resentment through the years.
Yeah, and for many years, he didn't agree with that decision.
Johnny
And that
goes
stayed
away.
with him. Yeah.
Who knows what was going on between Vic and his wife? Why? You got gunpowder still on your hands.
Sounds suspect that you're showed up at
You're
the
sitting
house.
at the guy's house answering the phone. Matter of fact, I think about it. He answered the phone.
That's crazy.
Now that we're talking about
When
it,
the
it wasn't
son
the mother.
called, he answered the phone.
He answered the phone.
And the kid didn't think
He
nothing
says,
of
my
it.
mother there. Mother gets on the phone. He's there. He hangs up. And here's how this kid's not even thinking. He goes, oh,
they're visiting my mom.
Vic's, like he was all excited that Vic's by the house. My face just dropped, and I was just like,
Yeah, like, whoa.
It gave me a different light of Vic.